Hello, welcome back in another video. Today I'm going to show you something about Tailwind. At the beginning I also hated Tailwind, but now that it clicked for me, I really like Tailwind. It's like I'm not going back. It's awesome. After watching a tons of video tutorial about Tailwind, I think something is missing is the thought process on how to build components with Tailwind. So I hope I can help you to learn more about Tailwinds if you're not into it. So I'll try my best to create those components and sharing my thoughts. And after the end of the video, I really hope you can take home some insight for building your project. So let's start from scratch. Let's say that the first thing that we want to build is a button. What we need to have to get a button. So the first thing is the text, but the button will have like a background color, a border, it should be rounded. So we should think explicitly beforehand what style we want to apply. So let's wrap this text inside a button tag. Let's add a class. As we stated before, we want a background color. So we type BG and then we will have also this awesome suggestion. We can get it in working in Visual Studio Code with the Tailwind extension. Right now I'm using the playground. So let's say we want to use black. Oh, so we can't see the text, then we can change the color of the text. So we type text and then white. Then, as we said, we need some padding to know what we are doing in CSS. We just hover over the text and we can see right in this pop-up what it converts as CSS. So let's take, for example, we want to build a button like this one, the Learn button on Next.js. So when we hover, we have a slight animation that turns it into white. So we want to make it rounded, then we add the rounded to it. To change the style when the button is hovered, we just add hover colon and then we switch the color of background and text. So for the background, we are going to change to white, and for text, we change it to black. When hovered, we want to see the border. So we add the border and we change the color to black. Nice. We add transition to change the color more smoothly, and yeah, now we have a button that works similar like the Next.js one. Now, what if we want to add an icon inside our button? We can use SVG. So one good website where we can find them is Lucid, and what we can do is we can search for example, a loading. No, it doesn't exist. Okay, we can use the right. We copy the SVG, we turn back, and inside our button tag, we add the SVG. To align the item, what we can do now is to make this button a flex, center the items, and add a gap. We can make the SVG smaller and make the font size bolder to make the style more aligned between the icon and the text. Next, we can try to create a search bar. So let's start with our style. We just create our input. I'm going to write something as it is hard to see. Now we can add the classes. So let's see what we need the input to be. We want to create a space on the left side for the icon. Then we want to add padding, run the border. I think we can start with that. So we want to make the border rounded. We want to add some padding, the ring and the ring color. We also want to add some shadow. We create a space on the left side, so we padding left there. And we can see now we have a small space on the left side. Then we can copy SVG of a search icon. We create a new div and we make the relative. And inside this, we will paste the SVG and the input. Now to push this icon inside the input, what we can do is we can create the class with an absolute position. Then we distance it to the from the left, from the top, change its size and the color. Now we have a search bar. Now that we can see that all the basics are mostly the same, I'm going to move faster. For the alert, what we can see what we need. And again, we need a background color, rounded border, and a gap between the icon and the text. So for the spacing between icon and text, we add flex and gap. Then we round the border with rounded large, adding background color with BG/slate, and then the padding with P. Let's see how we can create a batch. So we add a border and make it rounded. Then we add padding and change the color to purple of the border, and we change the size of the text and also its color. For the avatar, it's similar to the search bar. We wrap inside the image with a relative div, so we can add a green dot to show that the avatar user is online. So for the green dot, we assign the absolute and set it to top and right with a 20% distancing. Then we add the image and make it rounded. To combine few of the elements that we have seen, we can make more complex components by combining them. We create a div with a width. We make the background rounded with color and shadow. We add an image with 100% width to fill its parent. Then we create a container for the body. We use gap to add more spacing between the items and the padding from the border. Tailwind are shorthand for CSS that if you get used to it, it allows you to write them way more faster. Many people doesn't find it useful. That's okay. Everyone have their own style of coding. We just have to find the tools that work for us. I noticed improvement in my productivity from I started to using Tailwind, so I will continue using it. I will appreciate if you want to share any thoughts in the comments below, and I see you in the next one.